he touched so many people in so many different ways, and I was fortunate to be one of those people. Obviously there's a lot of people in the league that knew him better than I do and did, but like I said, in different ways. And I think his authenticity was something that is so unique, just a unique human being. And there's a lot of people that that have commented and more eloquently than I can right now. But I know the time, although it was a short period of time I was with him, I know the impact that he had on me in multiple ways, and I was fortunate to be able to maintain a relationship with him, in whatever capacity that occurred, whether it was just communication. And he was someone that touched so many people, as I said, and truly a unique human being that we all miss for all kinds of reasons. Like everyone, I spent yesterday trying to process everything, and I thought there was a number of people that I listened to that helped me do that, and I think everybody is grieving for all different kinds of reasons. I think there's just an overwhelming sense of loss. Heartbroken for his family, and that was one of the things that I kept hearing and taking, is his life after basketball and his commitment and love of his family. And so I don't, that's really all I have to comment. I think that also, our hearts go out to the other families that were involved as well, and how everyone's impacted by a tragedy like this.
First of all, I just want to pay my respects to him and his family. The other family, I forgot how to say their last name, but they're on the fight as well. It's definitely, it's crazy because that's something that's so routine for him and that family. It's the equivalent of us driving to work. And I think Jay Williams said it best: we just cherish your loved ones. It can happen any moment. Life is greater than anything. But on top of that, he wasn't just a basketball player. I think that's what hits home. So many people obviously remember him as what he'd done on the court, but who he was off the court, the person, the people he reached, the people he touched without even knowing he touched. I think that's one thing that really stands out. Kobe to us, guys like myself, it was either Kobe or Bryant growing up. It was one of the two. You had no other choice. And I think that's huge. I've been on record and I've said this. I grew up not a fan of Kobe. I was Team Bron, and as soon as I got to the league, watching film, it was just like, man, this guy, that was his work ethic. The one thing I asked all of his former teammates, coaches, like, the man never took a day off, and I watched the interview recently of him, and he was explaining how he could still, the reason why he took a helicopter was so he could still do his work, wake up at 5 a.m., do his work, and be that competitor and that killer on the court, and then go see his family and go see school plays, and to be able to have that dedication, that time, and that effort on both ends of life, not even just basketball, I think is huge. But what's crazy was I'll never forget where I was when he did the detail of my game. I was in the hotel room right before, I think it was like game 3 or game 2. I was just in shock, that he was talking about me. To be able to say, how people say it's crazy he knew my name. He knew my name. He knew my game. I think that's one of the wildest things to me. I watched that video, I believe it or not, yesterday. Just like, wow. Gone too soon is obviously the easiest thing to say, but that detailed video for me was probably the closest thing, obviously outside of our business relationship that I had on the court. Obviously I needed to play against them. I remember being in my dorm room when he scored 61 in the Jazz. I'd make fun of Joe. I was like, man, you're getting your ass kicked. But it's one of those things where you remember every single moment. I don't remember the 81-point game, but I probably promise you there's 10 people in there that do. Obviously most of you guys were covering the Jazz when he had 61. For me, we were both 13th draft picks and got traded by Charlotte on draft night. That's something I think is pretty special, man. Obviously I didn't know him as well as a lot of people do, but you still feel it, and I think that just speaks to his impact that he's had on so many different lives without him even really knowing. I think that's the crazy. It's just one of those things you don't want to believe. I hadn't seen it. We were all here actually. I hadn't seen it on any news outlet. Obviously, all through Twitter. I really thought it was a sick joke. Really did. Like I said, it was something that's so routine. If you know Kobe, you know that that's how he gets about and gets around. And then to find out his daughter, was there as well. His daughter, who just a week ago, it was a viral, as you guys know, the viral video of them talking on the court side, probably about a scheme on the court. That's what's just wild to me, man. It really, it hasn't really, hit. In moments where you're like, man, he's gone, but it hasn't really set in for me yet. I don't know how everybody else reacted, but for me, it's kind of just even watching the Trailblazers game last night. It's just I just can't. I can only imagine. I feel like Carmelo, Tyson, Chandler, guys who I know personally, I'm close to them, to go out and play a game, that's tough, And like I said, it's honestly how Kobe would have wanted it, And if you know Kobe, he would have went out there, regardless of what happened, and would have tried to score 100, and win by 30. That's just the competitor he is. And I think us as a league and us players, coming in after him is we have to hold that down for him. I think that's the biggest thing. And I really respect, everybody around the league who's paying their respects and doing this, like Trae Young wearing the jersey, guys writing stuff on their shoes, the 8-second violation, 24-second shot clock violation. I think we deserve all that. And there was something that made me laugh yesterday that I saw on Twitter. I grew up yelling Kobe, shooting the paper in a trash can. People shouldn't stop doing that. I think you should take a moment out of your day. It seems silly, but it means a lot. It's man transcended the whole basketball life and just life in general. I think that just paying any type of respect you possibly can, whether you knew him or not, I think is huge.
He was so young, then when we found out, his daughter, was on the chopper, that's when it really it hit, especially me having kids and, having two nieces, dealing with that and, seeing pictures and videos of her, she was always just so happy, always smiling, just so much joy. So, that's when it really it hit, not taking anything away from Cole, but, a 13-year-old, not getting to experience, a lot of things in life, it's sad. Before joining, I was signed to Rob Pelinka, so I had a, relationship with him. We worked out, a couple times, before I joined the Lakers in the summertime. And then, we texted and, got on the phone a few times. So, I had a, relationship with him before, but, I was telling some other people, when I heard about the death, I went in my phone and I just typed his name in and, pulled up some old text messages. And, a couple of them, he was talking when I first signed there, my 5th year in the league, back in, I think it was 2014. He was talking about winning championships, and he was probably the only one in the world that thought, that team could win a championship. We was a 20-win team at best, so, that just, showed, how much, he thought, of himself and how he really thought that we could win a championship, and, his mindset was on another level. And I played with a lot of, superstars, guys that are going to be in the Hall of Fame, first team All-NBA guys, but, he definitely, separated himself from everyone else. It started out, even before the season, me and Julius Randle went out to Orange County and was working out with him, and, we worked out for 2 hours, and, everything was full court. We're doing, suicides in the middle of drills. I was damn, this is what it takes, to be great. So, him at, I don't know if it was his 16th or 17th year in the league, him to still have that drive and, that work ethic, it was just, it just opened my eyes up to, something different. At first, I just went home and, hugged my kids first, my wife and, everybody else, that's in the house. And, I probably did what I shouldn't have did. I sat on the couch all day and, watched ESPN and like a lot of people did instead of, trying to take my mind off of it. But, I couldn't help it. So, it was a tough day, for the sports world and, just I think people in general, because you know he was all about like just working hard, like, you know what I mean, like everything about him was like, man, we're gonna do this shit hard and give it all we got. And I think, you know, that's why, you know, a lot of people, you know, respected him, and so many people in, you know, different, you know, walks of life, you know, can relate to him, because no matter what it was, you know, he was gonna give it all he got. Like I said, like in his years 16 and 17, like he was still attacking it like he was a second or third year guy, and you know, he was always, you know, working on his game, always, you know, trying to get better. Where most, you know, people just like, all right, I achieved enough, you know, my body's sore. Like he was always trying to get better. And then like me, like I like to observe a lot, so I used to always like try to look at his phone and see what he was doing, and like he was always watching film, always like everything was like deep thought. Like he used to ask me questions about like stuff that happened in practice like a week ago, and I used to lie and be like, yeah, I remember, I had no clue, but it's like that's just how he thought, and like how he was triggered.
I think Kobe is inspired all of us, you know, as young kids. When I started to watch basketball and back in France, you know, he was one of the few guys that were on the spotlight, and you know, he was on his prime. And I think as kids, everyone looked up to Kobe. I think his competitiveness, you know, his will to win, his drive, his work ethic. You know, I think it's something that whatever you do in life, you wanna, you know, be at your best and give everything you got. And I think Kobe was the one guy that gave everything he got every single night. You know, everyone's different. You know, everyone has different skills, but when you give everything you got to achieve and in order to win every single night, it's something to, you know, to be inspired from.